Welcome to biology session. In this session, we are going to look at the differences between living things and non-living things. In the previous lesson, we looked at the characteristics of living things or organisms. When it comes to differentiating, distinguishing living things from non-living things, we need to recall the characteristics of living things or organisms. So the difference relies, one is positive, the other one is in the negative aspect. So I've got a table here. On this side, I've got living things. Here, I've got non-living things. So in biology, when you are told to distinguish or to differentiate two aspects, it is a good idea to come up with a table, okay? Then you state the differences. It's more easier and well organized. So what are you supposed to do? When they say differentiate A from B, your title should be differences between A and B. That's the title. Then you draw a table like this one. You divide the table into two columns. Then on this side you put one aspect A, this side you put B. Then you start now differentiating. So you can cross this side, the table, you can cross the table this side, and also you can put even the serial number if you wish, like, so that you put now difference number 1, okay, difference number 2, difference number 3, difference number 4, number 5, number 6, number 7, and number 8, something like this. So living things are made up of living cells. So when you are talking about cells in biology, don't just say cells. Cells, a car battery has cells. So you have to say living cells. So this is the language that you should be familiar with. This is the language that you should be used to, living cells. So differentiating living things in terms of living cells, here you say non-living things are not made up of cells. So living things are made up of living cells. Then non-living things are not made up of living cells. So here we can say living cells. Number 2, living things are able to move. Okay, this is a characteristic of movement. Non-living things cannot move. Okay, living things are able to breathe. Non-living things cannot breathe. They cannot respire. There is no respiration that takes place. Living things are able to feed. Okay, non-living things are not able to feed or cannot feed. A stone cannot feed. A stone doesn't feed. Living things are able to excrete metabolic wastes, okay, such as urea. We have excess water, and the excess salts. So the living things are able to excrete. Non-living things do not excrete. Living things are able to reproduce, to have their young ones. Okay, plants are able to reproduce. Human beings are able to reproduce. Dogs are able to reproduce. They are able to produce their young ones. But non-living things do not reproduce. A single stone will continue being a single stone just like that. Okay, even if it is broken down by force, that is not reproduction. It's just divided. Living things are able to grow. So living things are able to grow. For example, man, from the fertilized egg to a fetus, then to a baby, from a baby, if it's a girl, okay, to a girl, a boy, adolescent, then adult, and the older person, okay, old man or old woman. So as you can see, living things are able to grow. Non-living things are not able to grow. A stone cannot grow, okay, sand cannot grow, water cannot grow. The living things are able to respond to stimuli. So you just say living things are sensitive to stimuli. That is the key. So you write like living things are sensitive to stimuli. A stimuli is the change in the environment. Okay, as I said last time, when it's cold, living organisms are able to respond. For example, a human being is able to put on warm clothing, add up linen, add up blankets, okay, if it's at night. If it's hot, then a human being will be able to remove excess linen, okay, take a bath or shower. So that is the ability, that is sensitivity, ability to respond to stimuli. Then non-living things are not sensitive to stimuli. If we have two objects, for example, a human being or a dog on the road, in the middle of the road, and a stone, a dog or human being will run away from the vehicle that is oncoming because it is able to respond to stimuli, okay, change in the environment, okay. Then a stone will just be there, okay. It will be bumped onto or crushed by a moving vehicle or object, okay. So that is the difference in terms of sensitivity. So we tend to complicate things. So what you need to do, these are things that we are able to identify. So examples of living organisms, we have man, we have plants, we have insects. All these are able to do what is listed from here 1 up to 8. Okay, they are made up of cells. Plants are made up of cells. Man is made up of cells. Insects are made up of cells. Okay, then non-living organisms examples, we have stone, sand, okay, water, something that does not have life. It does not contain living cells, and it cannot do all the 7 characteristics of living organisms, such as movement, breathing, feeding, excretion. Then we have reproduction, growth, and sensitivity. So this is how you distinguish living things from non-living things. You take the same characteristics of living things, you make them as the positive on the other side. On the non-living things is negative. They are not able to do these characteristics like movement, growth, feeding, excretion, reproduction, growth, and they are not able to respond to a stimuli. So that is basically what you need to understand. So there are 7. So this may even come on section B, where you're supposed to write. So when it comes to section B, okay, you can write a table quite all right, but you can also write in form of paragraphs. So meaning 1 point, when you talk about movement should be found in a single paragraph. Okay, feeding should have its own paragraph. Growth should have its own paragraph. So how do you write? You define, okay. After defining, you also give character or examples, okay. That is your paragraph 1. Paragraph 2 also, you talk about the definition for nutrition, feeding, then character if any, then examples, okay. So this is basically until you have the 8 or 7 paragraphs. In terms of cells, okay, you state, okay, living organisms, living things or organisms are made up of cells, okay. Then you give examples of cells. We have muscle cell, we have in terms of animals, we have muscle cell, red blood cell, white blood cell. Those are examples. Okay, so for man we have red blood cells, okay, muscle cells, then we have white blood cells. We have a lot of cells. Then for plants you give both examples, one on each or two on each. We have palisade cell, cell. So we have spongy cells. We have spongy cells. We have root hair cells. Okay, so this is how basically you have to recall or remember concepts in biology. So I'll show you how to write section B questions as we go on. First, let us cover at least considerable amount of material from your syllabi. Thank you so much for your attention.